I have actually made one other little minor mistake, but I'm not going to tell you about that.
Oh, no. What's he done? Go on. If there's one thing we like as much as a clapped out BMW, it's a Range Rover, which is why when I was offered one for well under £1,000, I couldn't say no. What?
Well, it's not your Range Rover, is it?
Well, we'll get on to that in a minute. But what do you think, Rory? Do you like it?
Do you know what? I love it so much. Good spec, really nice. Could have been a bit cheaper.
This, I'll have you know, was the cheapest Range Rover of this generation in the world, running and driving.
It was to you.
It was to me.
Just not to me.
This is a 2010 Range Rover L322 Vogue SE 3.6 litre TDV8, the Range Rover to have, apart from the 4.4. A late facelift, so it's got all of the LED and xenon headlights that look quite fancy and glitzy and very shiny. And Vicky Beckham comes to mind when I look at this. Victoria Beckham.
Victoria Beckham. And the
interior, the reason I left the window open is because you have to open it from the inside. We'll get onto that. Interior-wise, the best colour, ivory.
It is also the interior that unfortunately does suffer the most fading.
Heated and air-conditioned seats, heated steering wheel, a virtual dash. It's got Harman Kardon Logic 7. It's got auto lights. It's got auto everything, electric memory chairs. It is the Swiss Army knife of unreliable cars.
Do you want to get onto the final point of this?
What's the final point, Rory?
This is not your car anymore.
Well, I got offered this car by a really lovely chap on my Instagram. Would you like to have a guess how much I paid for this car? No, you're wrong. This entire car was all purchased for the small sum of £600. There was one particular person that's part of the Auto Alex team that got very, very attached to this car very, very quickly.
He's an idiot, this
and
person.
Forced me to sell this car.
What an idiot.
The man looks incredibly like a hamster, makes very funny noises and complains a lot. Can you guess who it is?
As usual when buying a car from Taylor, I look at it and it looks fabulous from the outside. And then you get drip-fed little bits of information where you're like going, oh yeah, well, it's got no logbook.
Look, right.
Oh, it's got no MOT. And then, lo and behold, you find out there's a reason that it's 600 quid.
Yes, there was a few reasons that this car was £600.
This is one of them.
But, come on now, you have to admit that because I like this car so much, I have actually talked you out of buying this car, and every single problem you have found wrong with it, I've said, no problem, I'll give you your money back.
You have. So anyway, I agreed to buy this car.
And this was your offer. I didn't come out with this price. This was Rory's offer.
For £2,000.
It was your idea. So this currently doesn't have an MOT because it failed its MOT.
Yeah.
It failed on one tyre, one brake pipe, one lower arm. We haven't had a look underneath this or anything like that yet. So we have no idea what this is like. So you effectively bought this car blind.
I'm an idiot.
We need to get this car up on the ramp, see how bad it actually is, and then make an effort into actually fixing it and getting it back on the road. So shall we get it in the unit and on the ramp?
God, I'm
I can't say that, you'll need a bleep. It's before the watershed.
Before the guys continue restoring Rory's broken Range Rover, a reminder from me that if you want to buy yourself a used car, van or motorbike, run a car vertical report on it first to ensure it's not being crashed, stolen or clocked. If we take a look at the car vertical report for Taylor's new daily driver, this lovely BMW 530 diesel touring, you can see that we've got green ticks for odometer, finance and damage that tells me and you that this car does not have a shady past. And now to give you guys an example of a bad car vertical report that would actually make me question the history of this VW Polo, we can see green ticks for odometer and finance, but an amber warning for damage. So let's scroll down and you can see in 2018, this car was crashed. Doesn't look too bad. Actually, no, on the other side it's actually very, very bad. About 3 years later, the car is all nicely fixed up and then pictured again for sale. But you know, because you ran the car vertical report, that this car was crashed not once, but twice, and it was a Category D write-off. So although it looks good in the pictures, the history is not so clean. So don't get stung when buying a used car, van or motorbike. Always run a car vertical report on it first. What's more, you will get 20% off your car vertical report using the code AUTOALEX. Right then, back to it.
So this is a 3.6 litre twin turbo V8 diesel. They're very common for top turbo hoses. These ones actually look all right. They look like they've been replaced. They also suffer with inlet manifolds cracking. These little rubber hoses here can split and they can suffer with EGR valves. But as far as I'm aware, all of that on this one is good. These coolant bottles like to crack and they leak coolant. This is actually a bit low.
Oh, brilliant.
So we might have a bit of an issue here.
Taylor,
What?
my hose has come off.
Can't see it anymore. Well, that's got a lot of play in it. That is what's known in the trade as knackered. I'm also noticing a relatively large oil leak. Not only is it on the exhaust, but it's on your rear suspension.
Wait, what? Oh my God. Where is it coming from?
It's a rocker cover gasket. Add that to the list, Rory.
How hard is it to do a rocker cover on one of these?
Yeah, sounds like a job not for me.
With the front of the car checked, we headed to the rear to continue our fault-finding mission.
There, that's your issue.
Oh, yeah.
It's worn on the inner edge and you can see the canvas through there. There's a hole in the tyre. I happen to know that this also has failed its MOT on rear brake hoses, brake pipes. So that looks a bit rusty in there, that brake pipe. But the rest of the car looks quite solid. Other than that, it all looks pretty happy actually.
So other than the fact that it needs its whole engine out.
It needs a body off restoration, brake pipes, new wheels, new tyres, new chassis, new body, new interior. Other than that, it's quite good. So it is a couple of days later. After looking at the Range Rover, we made a list of all the parts we needed and we have ordered them, and Febby have come through trumps. Once again, thank you very much to Febby Bilstein, our very, very good friends. They have sent us front and rear pads and discs, inlet manifolds, we've got all the filters, we have got lower control arms, brake pads. All of these parts are OE matching quality. They're very, very good and I'm very excited to get them fitted to the car. But I am not able to do this on a tight time frame on my own. So I've got a really special tool in the back of this car. It's Tom Lempel, everyone! Yay!
You said you were going to buy me lunch.
You specialise in these cars, don't you, Tom?
Oh, yeah, a little bit, yeah. We do one or two.
You've worked on many an L322, so you are going to help us today to do all the bits on this car, and hopefully by tomorrow afternoon, this car will have fresh MOT.
Okay, cool.
Yeah?
Come on then.
Should we get it on the ramp and get cracking?
Are we going to go on Taylor time or Tom time?
We'll do Tom time, otherwise we'll get nothing done.
Yeah, come on, let's do Tom time. Oh, that is tight.
Oh, I'm going to look through the invoices of this car. I'm going to see who fitted this tyre. I'm going to your and I'm going to for my Tom's looking for a different socket to undo the wheels because those wheel nuts are swollen. I'm going to take the air filter out and make a start on the engine service.
What are you doing, mate?
I'm taking the air filter out.
Are you qualified for that?
Not really, but I thought I'd try it just to see if I can qualify myself. That was tight. Tighter than a nun's nunny. Next up, I'm going to take the oil filter out. All of the paper element there is straight, which means this filter isn't starting to collapse. So although it's very dirty, it's not the end of the world. Your captain filter. And that is actually quite grim. Look how much thicker the new Febby filter is and nicer than this old cheap one.
With the filters in and the wheels off, Tom and Taylor then raced each other to see who could remove the discs and pads from their side of the car the fastest.
3, 2, 1, go.
And here we have Taylor stepping up to the block, unloosening his first bolt. Quicker than Tom, old man Tom over here.
Old man Tom?
Old man Tom unloosening his first bolt.
Have you got any 12-sided sockets, Tayller?
No.
Really? Have you got 12-sided sockets?
I do.
Hey! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
There you go.
Just got to hide it from Taylor.
Have you got one?
No, you're in trouble, mate.
Can I have that bar, please?
No.
Oh, don't be like that.
Honestly, the same tools are missing out of here. Have you nicked my big ratchet?
No.
Give me that ratchet, Taylor, please.
Oh! All right, we are neck and neck.
He's got a gun.
Yeah, well, I did say, do you want to use the gun? And you went no.
Can't use that, Tom. Tom's being ever so loud.
Tom, I think he's pulling ahead of you.
Yeah, I know he is. But I've actually, it's had the desired effect because we might actually go home at a sensible time. So
Shut up.
he's nicked my gun.
Sorry. I need my spanners, Tom. I want that one.
Yeah, I know. I reckon I can just about work this out by myself. Because I'm clever.
You took off that one because it looked like that one, Tom.
Yeah, it does, yeah. I think that's the one. No, it's not. Can I have that arm, please?
What, this one?
Yeah.
Why? Is that, have you fitted the wrong one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm rushing. All right, get off my nuts.
And that's this side. Done.
No, it's not.
Why is that, Tom?
Because you haven't tightened up the lower wishbone.
Yeah, but I can't do that until it's on the ground.
Yeah, that's
As
okay.
far this
But
side,
it's not done then, is
this
it?
side is assembled.
So I think you're going to have to help him.
No, go away,
So you're going to have to help.
go away, Taylor. Yeah, this is C.
Oh my
I'm glad you reminded me to check these, Taylor.
Well, I have to remind you because you're
It's because I'm old.
Oh, God, look at how technical you're being.
I hope this works.
I mean,
Well done,
he
Taylor.
has done a thing there.
Yes, yeah.
With the brakes now refreshed, there were only a few more things to tick off the car's long list of issues.
We need to fill it up with oil, fit the new oil filter, fit the new coolant tank, fit the new door handle cable, and then this is pretty much done and ready for its MOT. Are you excited, Rory?
I'm very excited, actually.
Good.
Dom, I think you've managed to miss nearly all of it in the back one.
Oh, Taylor.
Oh!
Right, can we run the engine up, Taylor?
What?
That didn't sound good. No, it still doesn't sound good.
Jump factor.
Oh, that's better.
Sounds better now, Rory.
I am going to fit this, which is a cable that joins the outside door handle to the door latch, which sits here. You can see this handle does absolutely nothing, completely disconnected. These are very common for snapping. They build up corrosion inside them and they snap over time. So this is what's called a vapor barrier. Peel this off gently, we don't want to tear it. The end has snapped off.
Oh, yeah.
So what we need to do is release that cable, get it out, and then fit the new one.
Oh, look at that.
That would have been really embarrassing if that didn't work.
And speaking of embarrassing, the Range Rover clearly wasn't done with us quite yet, because there was yet another massive issue we needed to get fixed quickly.
So it is another day, and luckily the Range Rover passed its MOT, but we've had quite a catastrophe. The gearbox decided that it didn't want to gearbox anymore. So we have got a replacement gearbox, and it was being sold by a chap at O'Regan Motors, a chap called Ollie, not this Ollie, another Ollie, and he actually donated this gearbox to us for free. So thank you ever so much, Ollie. Rory, you've also bought a brand new reconditioned second-hand
torque converter.
torque converter. Yeah. When all of this is shoved back in there, this Range Rover should be mwah. So the torque converter needs to be engaged in the gearbox first, and there's a bit of a procedure to
Right,
this.
okay, it's really important, right? Because what typically where it tends to go wrong is if you think that it's engaged and it's not fully on the splines, as you bolt up the bell housing and it breaks the pump.
Yeah, that's always been a fear of mine. I've known about that. And
Yeah.
It's a bit
So
scary.
what you're supposed to do is when you pick a torque converter up, you're supposed to get bolts in here so that you can lift it up centrally and keep it at a correct angle to the bell housing. Just got to make sure that it goes far enough back and it'll clonk and it'll go in. So you just have to. That is definitely not going on that last bit. It's not going onto the pump. That needs to be pretty much flush.
It feels quite engaged.
With the gearbox installed, we hoped that the Range Rover would be good to go, but like most things we do, there was a big problem.
What's happened, Tom? Let's do an update.
Right, okay, what's happened is gearbox is in, but I did kind of mention to Rory at the time that the gearbox they got was out of a 2007, 2008 car, I think it was, something like that.
Which has the same engine as this.
Which has the
and
same
is
engine,
the
same gearbox. But in 2010, we went to the facelift model and we had a different dash.
Which is what this is.
Which is what this is. So this is a 2010 3.6, and then we went over to the 4.4 engine and everything changed. So the software stroke electronics, turns out, is a little bit different from a 2010 3.6 to a 2007, so we believe. So we put it all in and we can't communicate with it. I plugged the laptop in, we can't comms with the TCM, so therefore we can't program it to the car, so therefore it doesn't work. So
we're taking the electronics out of the old gearbox and putting them into the new gearbox. So we've got the good clutches and internal parts of the mechanical gearbox in that one.
We believe
and the right electronics out of this one in that one.
Because we believe mechanically the gearbox is the same, but electrically they're different.
We hope.
So
you take the
I'm
mechatronics
taking it
out
out of there. You're going to take that one out of there.
out of
You're
there.
going to clean that one as best we can because it will be a little bit contaminated.
Whoever gets their mechatronics out first without breaking it.
No, that's not fair.
buys
You've
dinner.
already got the sump off.
Buys
And
dinner.
no.
Buys dinner.
No, Rory's buying dinner anyway. I mean, I should be at home. Can you stop pissing around and get that mecha out?
Now that that is out, you can actually see there's circuit boards here. These are all your solenoids. There's a module inside here somewhere. There's a sensor there, which is similar to a crankshaft sensor, which obviously senses speed and rotation and things like that. This is where the brain of your automatic gearbox is. But that is what controls this gearbox. Now the gearbox, if you look, is made up of loads of different clutch packs. Starting from the front, it'll be, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your 5th and 6th gears, I believe, will be at the back here somewhere, and they are the ones that have failed and have burnt out. And you can actually, if I spin this, you can see the internals of the gears spinning, and I believe these here are clutches. So this houses all of your gears, your clutches, your shafts, everything that, you know, transmits the power from the engine to the wheels. And this is what controls these clutches and the gear selections.
After my lesson on gearboxes, it was time to remove the faulty control module, at which point I noticed something very worrying.
Do you want the good news or the bad news?
Good news?
The good news is, I mean, it all looks the same. The bad news is the same part numbers. The electrical pins on that one do look dirtier than this one.
Yeah.
Look at the shade.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. But they're, either way, we know the car likes this one.
This is a good one. Shall we lebosh that in the car? Yeah?
Yeah. You sure you haven't mixed them up?
I don't actually know. Right,
Gotta
can
make
you
sure
locate it?
I can't locate it.
I've got a gearbox oil in my hair.
Should we go fault codes? No fault! I have just communicated. Do you want to turn the ignition off? I don't want to go. I don't want to fall over.
Oh,
Is it bad?
it's just
There's no grip anywhere. I told you.
My car, man!
After my near-death experience, we got the car back up on the ramp to put the sump back on.
Now there's a procedure to this. What you have to do is start the engine, you have to let it warm up a little bit, put it into gear, let it circulate, run it through reverse neutral drive, you know, a couple of times, let the gearbox warm up a little bit and fill the gearbox up while it's in neutral or park while the engine is running. Right, do you want to start it up, Rory? There's your phone. His phone was in the wheel.
My phone was in the wheel.
Oh, we've got gears! So what I'm doing is sucking the oil from that bottle and syringing it into the gearbox. Oh!
Give it a little revy rev. That's nice. Give it some.
This is scary. Tom's just tightening the battery terminal and that is us just about all done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Next task is a road test, and as long as that all goes well, it doesn't matter whether it goes well or not, because Rory You are going to clean this floor.
Right, Rory and Taylor, thank you very much for welcoming me into your regal home on wheels. You've been busy.
We
Very
have.
busy.
We have.
It is absolutely lovely. And from where I'm sitting, this feels almost like a brand new car.
From when I bought this car to now, this is a different car. The
Yeah.
gearbox is a smoother silk. The suspension feels a million times better. The brakes don't vibrate like hell anymore.
Yeah,
And it just feels like a wonderful place to be.
yeah.
Also, in the process between the gearbox braking and it working, I for some reason decided to get this tuned.
Oh,
So this actually now has a stage 1.
Is it mapped up?
This has a map on it.
You are a brave man, mapping a Range Rover that's done nearly 170,000 miles.
Look, it was more about the economy because Luke, who also is a massive fan of Range Rover L322.
is he? He never bangs on about
No, he
them.
doesn't, does
No,
he?
he doesn't, no.
But he advised me that he can now get an extra 4 miles per gallon on a run.
Oh, we like
That's
that.
pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I'll
So,
give you that.
remind me, this is a 3.6 TDV8.
Yes.
What's the standard power on one of these?
It's about 270.
Okay, and what kind of power do you have with the stage 1?
Apparently, it's about 315.
Wow.
That is a lot.
We're in a national speed limit, boys. Can you give it a little punch?
Oh! Oh!
All right, bloody hell. Okay.
So what do you think of this car, Alex? Because I've never actually heard your opinion on these, but secretly, I think you actually really like this car.
I'm a secret admirer. I actually asked Luke about his ex-police one. And I
Okay.
said, so Luke, what plans do you have for it? And then he reeled off this big old boring spiel about how he's going to do
I
X,
think
Y,
we've
Z.
all heard those plans.
A million
Yeah.
times.
Yes, yes. So that door closed for me because had he said, oh, I don't know, float about and then sell it, I would have offered him some money.
Really?
Because I really, really like these. I genuinely do. I have no use for one because I have a daily driver, which for me is perfect in every single way. This would be something just to scratch an itch. And I live in the ULEZ, so I can't really use it. Whereas you float about up and down the motorway.
Yeah.
It's perfect for you. You also live in the countryside, so if it snows or floods, then you're sorted.
But let's say theoretically there was a Range Rover that was ULEZ compliant and it was an L322.
I happen to own one of those, and there's only one variant of Range Rover L322 that you can get that is ULEZ compliant. And would you like to know what that variant is?
Does it have a supercharger?
It is the 4.2 litre supercharged V8.
How much that?
How much you offering?
I'll give you 1,500 quid. I'll back around.
Taylor?
Look, man, £2,000 and it's yours.
Oh, we're not far off then with
No.
1,500 quid.
No.
I'm going to have to think about it, okay?
That's-
Because I have just bought my Dream 4 before,
Which is
what we picked up yesterday. It's a motor vehicle I've
Oh.
wanted forever. Back to this Range Rover. Rory, I think you've done a good thing.
I think the tip here for anyone that wants to go out and buy one of these cars is buy one, but do like you and me did and buy it cheap. Because
Yeah.
at some point it probably will blow up, but if you spend less money on buying it, it makes the whole process less stressful.
So we've had a nice drive out in Rory's fixed Range Rover, and there's only one thing left to do, which is what you have to do with an L322, and it's to take it to not Clarkson's farm and have a little seat on the little benchy thing here, and
And have a cup of tea
have a cup of tea.
and some nice scones.
Oh, fantastic!
How about that here? Look, I've prepared us a nice little cup of, this is English breakfast, Twinings, tea,
Yeah.
some custard creams and a scone.
Have you seen that video with Harry Metcalf and Jeremy Clarkson? We're like a budget version of that.
We are a bit like a shit version of that.
We are.
There's your scone.
Where's the clotted cream?
What do you mean, where's the clotted cream?
Clotted cream and scones.
You don't have clotted cream with scones.
Are you mad?
This is
What's
what
the
Range-
weight limit of this?
Oh, everything. This is what Range Rovers are all about. Sitting on the tailgate,
Yeah.
lovely scenery, beautiful British countryside, having a cup of tea. Thank you.
Hopefully watching this episode inspires you to buy a really cheap Range Rover and then spend an awful amount fixing it, not only on parts but on labour as well.
And a massive thank you to Febby Bilstein for sending us all the lovely parts that are OE matching quality for this car.
Indeed. Right. Looks like I've done a deal on a 4.2 litre supercharged Range Rover. So we got to go and collect that in the new year and then probably spend an obscene amount fixing that.
So join us on our next Range Rover adventure.
Thank you very much and good night. That was a Clarkson thing, wasn't it?